All right, let me see. Start share. Desktop. Share. Look at that. All right, are you guys seeing everything?
Yep.
All the goods?
Yes.
Okay. You are screen sharing. Wonderful. Okay. File. Slideshow. I got a Mac, so that's why I'm looking really silly. Okay. So let's start by welcoming some new team members. We have Suzanne Madamba. Deanna, do you know how to pronounce her last name?
I think that's right.
Madamba? That sounds super fancy. I love it. And I don't know who that handsome lad is next to her, but he is fine. All right. So by the way, if you are a new consultant, don't forget that you can keep going to Dash. And honestly, if you're not a new consultant, Dash is always a really great place to go for like seasonal training, product information, new training on maybe new systems that we have in place, like the new host rewards or the new direct ship now. Also, don't forget that you have fast track rewards that you can earn for the first 90 days in your business. Or if you join in December, you get a bonus 30 days. And then there is also a new consultant webinar happening on, would that be Thursday and the 17th, which is also a Thursday. So put that in your calendar. I hear they're pretty good. So hop on that. Oh, guys, I never get the things on that right. Okay, so our organizational sales this month were 41,597. So you guys did amazing. All of our director teams were super green. And we had quite a few people who had $1,000 by the 15th. Keisha won that giveaway. Keisha, I have your gift card. I need to mail it. I was going to drop it off, and then my husband actually he tested positive for COVID, so we've been quarantining. So anyway, and then the one there would be the number of recruits we had this month. So we introduced her. So congrats on that. Just a reminder that for shipping, if you want things to be in by the 23rd, they need to be ordered by the 12th. So on my page, I'm doing the 12 days of Christmas, just to kind of keep that in front of people. And of course, they can always do like 2-day shipping or next day shipping. That seems crazy to me, but people do it. So don't be afraid to advertise that on your group. And I was going to, okay. So in December, I thought this was really handy. So front loading December is always really smart. Go live on social media as much as you can. What I'm doing on mine is I'm just doing a quick 10-minute gift guide. So like this morning, I went live and showed the cooling rack or the baking rack, the vanilla and the whipped cream maker, just as gift ideas. And I demonstrated the whipped cream maker. And tomorrow, I think I'm gonna do like either the salad choppers or the popcorn maker, things like that are like quick, easy gifts for people. And then also keep January host engaged. So you just want to remind your January host early that they have their party coming up. It might be a good idea to send out a thank you card and also maybe a recipe for them. And then hosting your own virtual party between Christmas and New Year's is a really, really good idea. Maybe doing some healthy stuff because we all know New Year's equals people with resolutions. So that might be really smart. Honestly, I thought that I had deleted all of these and I did not. So, okay. I did want to talk about excellence awards. Don't forget about that. It's not too late to earn this. It runs between June 1st and then it ends May 31st of 2021. So you can earn it in either sales, recruiting, developing leaders, or organizational sales. I believe it's 55,000 in sales over the course between their earning period, but they have really great prizes. I have earned this almost every year, and it's so nice to have the $500 in PC dollars because I use that for my catalogs throughout the year and things like that. It's really handy. And then also the Visa Rewards card is super nice to just get something for yourself or to get something that you need. Really cool. I think I bought a car seat with it one year. It was really cool. So top sellers this month, holy smokes. Laura coming in on top with 4,126. And this is for November, by the way, which was yesterday. Keisha coming in second at 2,611. That's awesome. Robin, who is brand new, she already has 1,658. So she qualified in her first month. That's crazy. Stevie had 1,616. Wow, they were neck to neck. And Lacey had 1,476. Our directors had an awesome month too. I had 8,835. Deanna had 7,372. And Molly had 5,160. Wow. So I always like to show the director stats so that you know that we're working right alongside of you and never, not doing what we preach. So really good on everyone. What a great month. And then Deanna, of course, had a recruit. So yay. Very, very, very good. Okay. I thought this was good. It's always a good idea to do this each month. So make a goal on how many parties you would like for December and how many parties you would like for January. And also a sales goal is also really smart. So if you're gunning for the free for all, make sure that that's your goal. And then also, how many people would you like to recruit in the next month or two? How many people do you need to ask to get that? So always be thinking about that. Okay, virtual summit. So this is for directors. So anyone who promotes to director by February 19th is going to get to go to this. I'm going to this. Deanna is going to this. Molly is going to this, I assume, because you don't want to miss this kind of stuff. This is training gold. Like, you learn so much from these webinars. So that is on the 19th and 20th. It will be virtual. So you can do it at home. And then, of course, the national conference, we're planning on having it in Chicago. And this is July 21st to the 24th. So this is incredible. You need to go to this. Find a way to make it happen. It is the best experience you will have for your business. And I can't name one reason why. It's just the total package. It's super fun. You'll be like overwhelmed. Like the only thing that's hard about it is that it's so much. It's so great. I wish they could do it over the course of a week, but it's just fantastic. So really excited for that. And then I'm going to stop the share here, and I'm going to give Molly the mic, and she's going to give you some updates. What am I doing? Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay, my computer's being weird. Or it's not my computer, it's totally me. Okay, so Molly, if you could please take it away with updates and things like that.
Okay. Some of them we went over last month, but the December host special is the same as it was last month. With a 60% off, they get to pick two once they hit $650. The guest special, if you hadn't checked that out, when they spend $80, they get the mini mix and scraper free. It's not, they don't have a choice this month. It's just, they automatically get that if they choose to get a special. The free for all this month, there's only 2 levels, unlike last month. 1,000 in sales is the first level and 2,000 in sales is the second level. If you guys checked out the stir today, you saw that they're having, I forget what they called it, stocking stuffers or something along those lines, what they called them. There's a special only until December 15th. So there's 3 different sets you can choose from, and each set is only $25. So you get to pick between 3 3 of the teak spoons, 3 adjustable measuring spoon sets, and 3 metal straw sets. So those you can advertise to your customers. And on current parties you have that they can get those, and it's only good till the 15th. So if they want them after that, they can't get them. Linda already mentioned that the new consultant promo for December is they get an extra 30 days to earn their fast track rewards. So that was new from last month. And also the new consultant kits are going to come with the whipped cream maker instead of the course grater, but they still can't get those. So they're going to ship the whipped cream maker with them instead. I think that's about it.
Okay. The other thing that I just happened to see that I don't know that was widely advertised is that this month is Double Dip December.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can earn the trip points for 2021 in December also. So it counts for the 2020 trip and it counts for 2021. So if you have 2021, you get a bonus month for next year. So that's crazy. So really good to know. Recruiting, you get 3,000 points. So really exciting. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about goal setting. And I thought this would be really good to do a little bit early because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm crashing into 2021. So I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time to think about this. I think about this every year. I think we all do with a new calendar. There's just something so fresh about like sitting down and thinking about what you want in the new year. And so I wanted to talk about that with you guys. How many of you have gotten into a car and you had no idea where you were going to drive? You just like hopped in, turned it on and thought, okay, I'm just going to go where I feel like going, wherever the road takes me, right? Okay, so if you've done it, it's probably been like a date night thing or like a fun thing with your friends. But can you imagine doing that every single time you hopped into your car? Your life would be very chaotic. I would kind of want to be in that car, honestly. So it sounds really absurd, but for a lot of us, we are so guilty of doing that with our day-to-day lives, especially when we have a situation like 2020, where it just feels like, how can we even make a plan or a goal? We're just surviving, right? But it's almost even more critical to have a goal and a plan when things are like awry, right? I think it was Zig Ziglar who said this, but I think of it all the time. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So true, right? So a lot of people think that they have goals, but I have found that a lot of people have hopes, not goals. I hope I have enough money to the end of the month, or I hope I can make some money doing this. But there are a few things that separate having a hope from a goal. Hoping removes yourself from the equation. It's kind of like saying, if the universe allows it, maybe these things will happen for me. Goals are a decision outlined with a plan. It requires commitment on your part. And when you set a goal, it's kind of like you're saying, I know where I want to go, and I'm going to do what it takes to get there. Honestly, I think this is why a lot of people fail to set goals, because there's this fear of not being able to hit them, of like, who do I think I am kind of thought, like imposter syndrome. And it's easier just to kind of go along for the ride and just see how it goes. I think a lot of us have done this, myself included, and seasonally we do this. I found this great quote, and it's so true. The trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. I think that we've all felt this, right? Do you ever feel like you're doing all of the things, but you never feel like you hit a target or you hit a goal or you have that like aha moment? It might be because you don't have a clear enough goal in mind. So where do you want to go? And don't let like the journey or the distance or the struggle or any of those things deter you from getting to where you want to go. Maybe your goal is to hold 4 parties a month. Maybe it's to hold 4 parties in a week. Maybe you want to bring home $1,000 paycheck each month, or maybe you want to just get rid of that stupid credit card bill that makes you feel like a fool every time you look at it. A goal that I really like to see people have, which is really appropriate for this double dip December, is earning the trip, because I think it's such a fun and cool goal to have. And when you have that as your goal, you hit a lot of other benefits along the way. You do need to make sure that your goal is what we call a SMART one. You may have heard of this. A SMART goal is S-M-A-R-T. It's S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, relevant, and T, time-based. For instance, let's say that you want to earn the trip for next year. It's specific. It's not like you're saying, I want to go on a trip someday, right? It's a specific trip, it's a specific date, and it's within a specific year. It's measurable because you know what you have to do to earn it, and we can track our progress along the way. It's achievable. Each and every one of you can realistically achieve the trip. And please do not sell yourself short on what's achievable. Honestly, if you came to me and you were like, I'd like to earn $1 million next month, I'd be like, we can go for it, but you're probably not going to do that, right? It's also R, relevant, because it serves your business. So like having a goal of always having perfect nails is probably not going to be great for your business. You want it to be something that actually works for you. And then most importantly, it's time-based, meaning there is a certain time frame that you plan to do this. So obviously the earning period is between now and the end of 2021. So you have a goal. Now you need a plan. So it's not just enough to say that you're going to do something. You have to figure out how you're going to make it happen. The good news is you don't have to do this alone. You have really great directors on your team. Each of them have like set a goal and hit it. So they're good people to go to for this. Let me help you walk it out though, so that you can see what it will look like. So hop back into your car, you know, the one that you went in, you had no idea where you're going to go. I want you to, okay, now you know where you're going, right? So if you don't know how to get where you're going, you're probably going to punch it into Google Maps, right? Well, Google Maps, the way that it figures out how to get you to where you're going in the shortest way possible is it starts at the destination and it works its way back to you. That's how it's able to figure out the quickest way. And of course, if there's traffic or construction or a detour, it will be able to calculate and reroute you. It doesn't just say, I guess you're not going, right? There's none of that with Google Maps, and there's none of that with your goal either. So you can do the same kind of things with your goal. So the trip per se, we're just using this as an example, is 60,000 points, and you get the points different ways, but let's just keep it simple. If you need 60,000 points to earn the trip, then you're going to figure out what you need to do each month. 60,000 divided into 12 months is 5,000 per month. How do you want to do that? Do you want to do it all with sales? Do you want to do it with some recruiting? So if so, what is your show average and how many shows do you need to do every single week? See how I went from a 60,000 or a trip to what I need to do and then broke it down to 12 months. Maybe you don't want to do it in 12 months. Maybe you want to be really smart and not be sweating bullets at the end of December. Maybe you want to earn it by November. So then you would consolidate it a little bit and maybe add in, 2 recruits throughout the year or 1 recruit a month to help you earn it. Maybe you want to earn it as a director because that's even smarter. So what do you need to do to hit that? So it's totally up to you how these things happen. You are in control. You are in the driver's seat of the car and you have your foot on the gas pedal. So no one can tell you, not me, not your recruiter, not your spouse, not your parents. No one can make this choice for you. This is completely personal. What you cannot do, though, is fudge the math. So you cannot say, I'm going to do 2 parties a month and just cross my fingers that I sell 10 air fryers at every party so that I can earn this trip. Okay. So make sure that you're setting yourself up for success when you're making a plan, and lean a little into your pessimistic side when you're doing this. I always tell you stay positive and be, but to say that you're going to have a $1,200 show average for every party is probably a little too optimistic. So give yourself enough wiggle room to set yourself up for success. So George Patton, World War II general, he talks a lot about planning. And his one quote is, a good battle plan that you can act on today is better than a perfect one tomorrow. So some of us, not me, I don't suffer from this, suffer from perfectionism, like where you want everything to be neat and tidy. I'm the opposite. I'm like, let's move. No need to tidy this up. No need to worry about the details. My mother thinks it's crazy, but so if you're someone who feels like everything needs to be neat and tidy and figured out and all of that stuff before you set foot, you need to kind of let that go. You need to have a general plan and not think about, oh, is this accounting for that 1 week in Thanksgiving where I'm not going to do parties? What
did you tell me last week or the week before about all the green lights?
If you wait for all the lights to turn green before you leave your driveway, you'll never get to the mall. You
good.
have to just understand that you're going to have red lights. There's going to be construction. You have to not worry about the nitty gritty. And it kind of plays into this next kind of point. It sounds a little bit hokey, but you're going to have a little bit of faith in the process, in the plan, and mostly in yourself. If you have set a SMART goal and you've made a plan on how you're going to do it, the second most important part of this process is believing that you are capable of doing it. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to look around the room in the next 10 seconds, and I want you to count everything you can see that is the color blue and count them. All right. So I want you to tell me how many red items are in your room. Right? So see how easy it was to overlook something because I told you to focus on something. Now, our brain's job is to keep us alive. That's like 101, right? It's kind of like us when you're a parent, like just keep them alive. Lately, that's like the only goal. So part of your job, the brain that your job has, is looking for things to keep you safe, keep you from harm, keep you from danger. So because of that, we tend to concentrate on things that are scary or negative or anything like that. Like that tiger that charges you in the middle of the afternoon while you're like foraging for some berries. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it's kind of still in our psyche, right? It's trying to keep us from taking risks that might cause us harm or might cause us stress or might cause us failure, all of those things. So the good news is, though, that you can change what you put in the center of your mind. So instead of putting in the center of your mind all of the things that can go wrong, right? You've had like the host ghost you, and that's way easier to focus than the 6 hosts who are knocking it out of the park. Or maybe you have that cranky lady who's complaining about her 20-year-old spatula staining. You totally ignore the 5 other people who were just singing the praises of Pampered Chef in your party, right? It's so easy to do this. Although you're able to trick your brain to looking at things differently, your brain's actually not that smart, right? If we're getting down to it. So I want you to close your eyes for a second. I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, so I want you to mentally walk in front of your fridge and your freezer. And you can hear the hum. I want you to open up your freezer door. And I want you to find a popsicle. You have one in your freezer. And I want you to open it up. And I want you to sink your teeth into it. Did any of you feel a chill? Did you guys feel like goosebumps on your skin? Right? You weren't actually holding a popsicle. You weren't actually biting into it, but your body responded to it. And you told your brain that it existed, and your brain it couldn't tell that it wasn't actually happening. So you can really set into motion how you perceive things, but you cannot do it unconsciously. You have to have a positive mindset and be really intentional about doing that, because like I said, your brain's default is keep me from feeling bad, right? And unfortunately, if you're afraid of feeling bad in this business, you're never going to hit those goals, because you're going to prevent yourself from feeling like, oh, what if they say no? Or what if it fails? Or what if it doesn't work out? That's the real reason people don't set goals. Okay, so you can all do this. I have been watching all of you and getting to know all of you, and you guys blow me away all the time. Seriously. There's not a single person on this team who isn't capable of earning a trip or becoming a director. It's all about whether or not you want to do it. So if you're worried about staying kind of motivated, you're like, great, I feel great and wonderful, and I know what I want to do. How do I keep doing it? You definitely want to make sure that you come to the meeting in January. But the other thing I want you to do is start filling your brain. So you can fill your brain with things like podcasts, books. You can literally delete people on Facebook. You don't have to unfriend them. You can just say bye-bye, right? And mute them. You can, if someone, has an opinion about you or what you do, just say, I appreciate that, but I'm gonna do my own thing, tune them out. They don't know what they're talking about. I promise you they don't. So just keep those people away from your brain, because it's so easy to tear you down. It's so easy to find that weird article where you're like, what? These people, like, obviously, or, you know what it is. Or maybe you messed up and you feel like, oh, obviously I'm a total failure. I can't do this. Yes, you can. Everyone makes mistakes. So the other thing I really like is creating a vision board. Ooh, let me get mine. Of course, I just reorganized everything. I will find it. So I really like the idea of creating a vision board. I did mine on Canva. You could totally do the grab a bunch of magazines, cut them all apart and do all that. I personally like to just clip together a bunch of images on Canva, print it out, and I can make it all pretty. And so here's my vision board. So this is not so much a business one as it is a lifestyle, but the business gets me to the lifestyle. So I want to have a huge house. This is the house I will have. I will invite you all to it whenever I build it. And my goal is to be able to fit all of I'm insane. I will let you know that. I want to be able to fit every one of my grandkids and my kids in my house. I'm assuming everyone's moving away from me. I want them to all be able to sleep under one roof. I want a ridiculous garden, and I want to be able to travel. So those are all things that I want in my life. So then I backpedal, what do I need to do in my business to get me there? And I just keep breaking it down into steps. And so this motivates me, seeing the vision board, because whenever I'm feeling like, I peel it out and I say, okay, am I willing to say no to this? Ed Mylett very famously says, if you're not willing to sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. Right? Like, oh, it's so true. You're going to say no to something. You're either going to say no to what you want, or you're going to say no to the things that stop you from having what you want. So don't be afraid. And honestly, what is the worst that will happen? Just ask yourself that. What is the worst thing that would happen if you went for what you wanted and it didn't happen? I'm willing to bet that the process of getting there is well worth maybe failing, but I don't think you will. I think you'll get there. So definitely create a vision board, put all the things on it that just kind of seem ridiculous. Like I could never, right? I would never have that home. I would never go on that trip. I would never, if it doesn't like kind of make you a little sick to your stomach, it's probably not a big enough goal. It should scare you a little bit, and it should make you feel compelled to get on your computer, get on your phone, do all those things and work through all of the, day-to-day kind of mundane tasks that we have to do to keep our business going. So Picasso had this quote too: our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. So all of the greats that you see, name one, right? Beyonce, I don't know, all of them, they didn't just like the Super Bowl. They didn't just like accidentally get there. They worked, and they worked through those feelings of disbelief. They worked through those feelings of not wanting to do it. And did they have bad days? I'm sure they did. Did they have moments that weren't very pretty? I'm sure that they did, but keeping on going is what's important. So I wanted to give you guys some time to ask me questions about setting goals. Or maybe if you have something that you want to do, but you're not quite sure how to break it down, or maybe you have several goals and you're not sure how to make it into one goal. Do you guys have any questions about that? Make sure you unmute. So do some of you have your goals, like kind of, are you working on your blueprint for your goals for 2021?
I set one goal and I already blew it out of the park, and that was to have a fully booked first week of January.
Yeah.
I had to change my goal because I was 4 parties, and then they were like, well, I want a party too. So it was up to 6 parties, and I was like, well, let's make room for 2 more. So I'm trying to get 8 parties for the first week to get that, trying to get my host at shredder.
The quick shred.
Yeah.
So smart. And it used to be whenever it wasn't virtual that you would have to find someone to host an in-home party that first week of January. No, I used to just say, nope, not doing it. So the fact that you can do this virtually now is so great. And so now you have to set a bigger goal, is 8 enough? Maybe you want it. Well, I don't know if I would do more than 8 parties in 1 week, but then you move the goal line, you keep pushing forward. That's awesome. I know that you said that you had used the quick shred as a way to get people in your calendar that week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also wrote them down. So like I have this crazy tracker, and I highlighted my thank you notes that I sent out. So
tracking is so important because it helps you see where you are in progress. That's part of what we'll talk about in January. If you're not measuring, and that's why it's important to have a measurable goal. If you're not measuring or you're not looking at how you're doing, then it's really hard to make adjustments or really hard to see the progress that you've made. And I can't remember who said this, that they do this. It was probably on Ed Milet's podcast, where they have they have a vision board and then they have an accomplishment board. I thought this was so smart. So they have a board of the goals that they had and that they hit, so that they could, when they're feeling like I can't do anything, we all feel like that sometimes. We're all super dramatic. Whenever we do like the tiniest thing wrong, we're like, oh, I'm horrible. No, you're not. You can pull out your accomplishment board and go, no, I'm not. I'm like,
Linda, that really helped me after having baby Joey when my confidence just went. Like
Yeah.
it helped to make an accomplishment board to see what I've accomplished, because it's so easy to overlook the things that you've already done and to look at the things that you haven't done yet.
it's so true. And if you're tracking things, it makes it so easy to look back on too. Like, why do I think I'm not going to have any sales in January when I've never not submitted sales in the past 7 years that I've been in Pampered Chef? It's like absurd to think that would happen. So tracking is just so great for your confidence, for keeping you on track, and for seeing where things need to improve and seeing where things are doing really well. Really, really good. Yay. So you can do a raise of hands, like you could do a react if you want. How many of you have the trip on your like wanting to earn it? Deanna, I'm sure Molly. Yes, yes. I don't know if your videos are off, if I can see your reactions. We find out on the 13th or 14th. I'm sure it's the 14th. 14th. So I'm so excited. I don't know about you. So we didn't do any vacations this year. We usually do a bunch of little vacations and we did none. And so I am itching. I need to get out of this house and onto a beach ASAP. So I'm really excited to see what the trip is going to be. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. I feel like I thought this was going to be a lot longer and it wasn't. And that just is how it goes sometimes. So I would really encourage you to take a minute. So what I like to do, I call it like my quarterly meeting. I usually go somewhere by myself. I usually just say to my husband, I'm leaving. I won't be back for a couple hours. I'm going to get something ridiculous, like a coffee or a lunch or something. Treat yourself alone and grab a notebook, grab your iPad or whatever, and go and sit. Tell your waitress, I'm going to be parking for like 3 hours, if that's cool. And just hash it out. Hash out what you want to do and put it in writing. And HD vision is what Chris Hogan would say. Be able to map out exactly what you want to do and then make a plan to make it happen. How much time do you need to spend each day in your business? Probably not more than an hour or two. If you have a huge goal, like even if you want to earn the trip, you can do that in an hour or two a day. So when are you going to do that? What are you going to do? Things like that. That is going to be what's necessary to help you hit really big goals in a short amount of time. Because otherwise we tend to waste our time thinking, what do I need to be doing? We go, I have so much work to do. And then you sit down your computer and you go, what do I do? So make sure that you have that in action. And if you need someone to kind of walk you through that, or look at what your list is or your goals and what your plan is and say, hey, you might want to look at this, or I think this looks really great. Have you thought about this? If you need someone to help you with that, your director is a good person to go to. And then you want to definitely share it with someone who you know will support you. Hopefully that is your spouse or your significant other. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister or your friend. Be very careful about who you go to about this, because if it is someone who's going to say to you, I don't know, that sounds like a lot, you know what I mean? That is all it takes for you to just tear yourself right on down. So be really, really cautious of who you ask for their opinion from, because it's really important that it's someone who's going to be supportive of you. And it's really important that you have someone who supports you, because you're going to have moments where you say to yourself, is it even worth it? And you want to have someone to go to and vent to and be like, I'm being a little dramatic. I need you to talk me down. And that's really good to have that. So All right, well, I'm gonna cut this off early and let you guys enjoy your first day of December. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, and a Happy New Year. Is there going to be a more glorious New Year than the New Year of 2021? Get this year off my back. And I hope that all of your schools open very soon and that you can leave your house very, very soon. We're coming out of quarantine. Luckily, my husband had it and he had no symptoms. Basically, he can't smell anything, but that's about it. He calls that an advantage when you have a puppy at home. But so yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great month. Bye.